Well, folks, we are on the way over to collect the Beetle, and it involves a drive across the beautiful Wicklow Mountains, and we're doing it in the MX-5, so definitely the right choice of vehicle to do this run in. So yeah, I'm just enjoying the drive here with the roof down. It's a bit cold and windy, but still puts a smile on my face all the same. And here we are. Let's go in and get the keys and take this for a spin. Well, I am pleased to report that the car is driving absolutely fantastically. I'm on the way back home now. It's pulling so much better. To be honest with you, he was saying to me one of the big differences, or one of the big problems with it was actually the timing more so than the fueling. He did say the fueling was several orders of magnitude out as well, but the timing particularly, he said, made massive differences. So he was saying to me that the part throttle response, he said, at one stage, he said, at 20% throttle at like 2000 RPM, he said it was delivering 25 foot-pounds of torque. And he said with just a timing change, he was able to bring that up to, I think he said 50 or 60 foot-pounds of torque. And that alone has made the drivability so much better. I mean, the throttle response is beautiful. It's pulling along great. Now, he was quite surprised actually at he expected it to have more power in it as well. It's got 109 horsepower, which is okay, but I kind of would have expected a little more myself in all honesty too, but look, it's got 130 foot-pounds of torque and 109 horsepower. It makes for a very drivable car, and yeah, I mean, for that alone, it's a very easy engine to live with now, you know what I mean? So plenty of driving to do, and this means that I feel like I can actually get out and use it at last. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to enjoy the drive over through the Wicklow Mountains now, and get back home, and might use it for the rest of the day. I have a few errands to run and stuff like that, so why not use it? I'm after throwing 40 quid's worth of petrol in it as well, so yeah, happy days. So I'm driving back up the Sally Gap here now, and I'm about 30 miles an hour. I'm only having to shift down into third gear, and going up a mountain pass, there's loads of torque there. It's absolutely fantastic. I can't get over how smooth this engine is running. Just the power delivery, regardless of where you have the accelerator pedal, is just absolutely perfect. Just a pity I'm stuck behind a bus and a van and all this, so kind of would like to open the taps a little bit on it, but sure, there'll be plenty of opportunities for that as well, no doubt. But the low speed drivability was one of the things that was very poor on it. I mean, yeah, it would accelerate hard when I opened the taps, but it wouldn't do anything else very well. But yeah, engine temperature is perfect, the oil pressure is perfect, everything is looking great. So yeah, really, really happy now, I have to say. It was money well spent. Cost me 560 all in for the full dyno run and an expert tune-up. And to be honest with you, that might sound expensive when you take it out of context, but see what you get for 560 on your modern car now. You'd probably pay that for a service in your local dealership. So yeah, I mean, that to me is absolutely money well spent. Really, really happy with that. You're not going to hear a Beetle engine running much smoother than that, I can tell you. Truth be told, the happiness was somewhat short-lived. I found that after I used it for a couple of days, there were a lot of holes that needed to be picked in the whole process, and things were not as good as they first appeared. There were issues still, and I had to iron them out. So I'm going to hand you over to myself in the garage earlier today, and we'll pick it up from there. I'm only coming back to this video now after several months. I have been doing a bit of thinking. I suppose where I'm at with this car, I was kind of telling myself it was because I needed space to think, but it's because I'm actually disappointed in how it all played out. I was expecting perfection. The EFI kit was not cheap, but what I got wasn't perfection at all, and yeah, just not really happy with it, to tell you the truth. The chap I got to do the tuning works on supercars and high performance cars, race cars all the time, and that's his world. That's fair enough, but I think he kind of treated this like what the car really is on paper, an old Beetle, and I was expecting more than that. I went back to him, had many discussions with him, and there was always kind of explanations or discussions or that, like, the intake runners are too short, there's no balanced tube, the cam profile is wrong for the engine, this, that, and the other. And, I would have believed a certain amount of that if it wasn't for the fact that when I got it home, I actually ended up connecting my laptop to it and ironing out some of the problems just straight away. Now, you have to remember, I'm an amateur at this, folks. I really am. So for me to be able to get some of the things right that he's saying are, just something I have to live with, like, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. And I kind of, yeah. In the end, he had the car for nearly 2 weeks, and I don't think he actually spent enough time listening to the car. He didn't take it out for a drive. He did everything on the dyno. Now, that's fine for kind of on paper tuning in my mind, but I don't drive it on the dyno. I drive it on the road in real world conditions, start, stop, traffic, that kind of stuff. And I wasn't looking for explanations or excuses. What I was looking for was confidence. Confidence that I could take this car out and just use it. And I didn't get that. And when I got it home, the car just didn't feel finished. Yeah, okay, fair enough. It was a lot better than it was when I left. There were marked improvements. There's no doubt about it. There really were. But I didn't have that confidence. And I felt like the responsibility had quietly come back to me. And as an amateur, that's really not what I was paying for. So the video stopped there for a while because I didn't want to dress this up as a success when it didn't feel like one. And I suppose this is the point now where, after several months and mulling it over and annoying myself about this car and probably annoying my wife about it and everything as well, it's the point where the laptop comes back out and where I have to decide whether I trust the tune I was given, which I don't, or the instincts I've built up with the car over time. And that's where I am now. So I'm going to get the laptop back out, and we're going to see if we can start getting through some of the areas where I'm just not happy. The main area of concern is the cold starting. It is a bugger to start when it's hot, when it's cold, and to be honest with you, it's not much better to start when it's hot. Now, I got some explanation about the idle air control valve not being right and all this kind of stuff as well. So, and maybe that is the case. Maybe I'm being off the mark here, but I just have to believe it's better. And in order for me to get confidence back in this car, I have to believe it's better. So let's get stuck in. This is the cold start as it stands. So I'm not touching the accelerator or anything. This is a fuel injected car, so it should start on the button. I'm going to just try and give it a little bit of acceleration. Gotta get better than that. Okay, so I have modified the cranking fuel enrichment and we are going to see if it is any better now. So let's see how we go. Case in point, folks. How much better is that? Yeah, that's a vast improvement there now. Okay, so I know people are going to probably say that it's not a fair comparison because it's January now, it's the depths of winter. But that being said, it was never good starting after I got it back. So it's already an awful lot better. And if it's better now in the depths of winter, it's certainly going to be better in kind of April, May sort of time when the weather improves. I did kind of interpolate the table, so I increased the fuel. Basically, I identified where the problem areas were and I corrected them across the board to a degree. So that meant kind of decreasing the fueling when the engine's up at kind of 80 degrees and increasing it when it's down cold, so 0 to 20 degrees sort of range. And I kind of interpolated the table within that range. So it should be absolutely fine now. Certainly it's an awful lot better, but whether I have the confidence or not in it, well, I don't know. So as I said, it's January now, and this tune was done in the middle of summer, and even then it wasn't right. I mean, what's changed isn't the weather. Okay, yeah, the weather has changed. Obviously it's cold now, but it's the time I've spent on it, and that's the thing, so that's what's setting things apart here. And that's what I think was missing before. a few small changes here made in this garage in January have already improved how it starts and how it behaves. And I'm not saying that to show off. I mean, I keep going back to the fact that I am an amateur here, and that's kind of what's highlighting the problem as far as I'm concerned. I'm saying this because of the fact that the job wasn't finished. The car doesn't live on a dyno. It lives out here in the cold on real roads. I want to be able to use this car in the depths of winter as much as I want to be able to use it in the summer. And if I'm honest, that's where the tune should have been proven, is on the road, not on a dyno. Yeah, great. Doing a dyno tune is fantastic, but how can you tune it? Like, that's a lab environment, you know. There's a difference between the lab and the real world, you know. I mean, and that's kind of where I'm coming from on it. So it's better now. It's not perfect, but it is better. It's a lot better, actually, to be honest with you. And I had already ironed out issues where it was lean popping at the 2700 RPM rev range, kind of between 2500 and 3000 RPM. It was lean popping, and it was also sluggish pulling away. So small changes in the tables there have also made a difference. So again, that's the type of thing that would have been proven had the car gotten out on the road and been proven there. But anyway, look, I'm gonna keep going with it until I'm happy, but I'm happier, and that's something. Not too bad.